It's Sunday afternoon in February, 56 degrees here in Dothan, Alabama. Thought you might like to see some of the goings on of Mayhive. Mayhive was just dragging in a bunch of pollen and doing a lot of stuff here today. Looks like they're wanting to brood or are working on brooding more. Not that they were completely broodless, but let me let you in there, turn this around so you can take a look and see what these girls are doing. Okay, come on. All right. These girls are just hitting it today. I haven't seen them fly like this for a while. Hey, Grayson, how you doing today? I'm showing my girls flying at the entrance of their hive today. And thinking that we might be able to chat a little bit because I missed the chat last night. For some reason it didn't give me a notification. I had rang the bell. So these girls here are pulling in like probably 30 bees per minute or so. Some yellow and golden pollen. I'm trying to figure out where they're getting it from. Yeah, and when it warms up, I guess these girls decide they're wanting to go do their bathroom break and say, oh, by the way, let me pick up some pollen and make sure that the brood gets fed. The problem I have with the open feeder right now, I left some stuff out and it's frozen right now, so they're skating on ice over there. Which I think it's sort of funny when they go to land, they go sliding, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. My other ones in the backyard aren't as active today. I had to make some augmentations to their feeder, so it's taking a couple of days for me to put something out for them. So they're probably just getting used to knowing that it's out there right now. I did that a little while ago. So here we go, watching our girls. I can't wait. I can't wait to see these girls fly and see if they build any queen cells and do the splits and I'm actually ordering stuff, grafting pins from China and and some queen cages to see, start buying stuff and getting prepared to go and do some sort of probably grafting, but until I get some more equipment, I don't think I'm going to be getting full swing into it till I get some more equipment. So it'll probably end up going the nuke route and buying some nukes. Shoot, I may even come out to visit you, Grayson. Yeah, and the whole point on the raising the queens, Grayson, I think is the good point is that you're not having to go and pay somebody else, and you're taking from your own survivor stock, so you know that they have the genetics to be able to make it. Just depending on who those virgin queens mate with, or if they get mated well enough. That's the question. But you're self-sustaining. You're not wasting money, a whole lot of money, other than the money it takes for you to get your cell builders built up and getting stuff together for that. But that's all equipment. You can still continue using that, which is good to have that investment, because you don't know, it may not always be used just for queens. It may be used just for other splits or quarantining a swarm you catch. It's all of those variables that make sense, because it's not wasteful. It's taking your dollar and stretching it and putting it into something that you're investing in yourself. And that's some of why I do started doing the lives, and been doing the the videos. I'm trying to sell who I am, and that's part of your business, is letting people get to know who you are, and to see the character you are, and what you're about. Hey, Michael, glad to see you made it on. I'm just showing my girls flying right now. They're pulling in a bunch of pollen, so like I was telling Grayson, they're probably getting ready to start brooding up some more. Being that it's February, about 56 degrees out here. So, but these girls are really busy today, and I mean, not many people out there getting a chance to see their bees fly because of the weather. But the whole conversations that we've been having on some of the other streams, Michael and Grayson, is, like I told Grayson, it makes sense. Invest in the equipment, and then try to make yourself sustaining. With the production of your own queens. I don't think it's going to be that hard of an issue. If you take and try to make 10 queens, you only get 5. Well, that's 50%. You're still somewhat winning at the game. You're not paying, $30, $40, $50, $1,000 for a queen. Just to have a queen in your yard. 22 degrees. Whew. It's gonna be in the 30s. It's gonna be freezing tonight, but for us. But it's nice right now. The sun feels good to be out in this little bit of the sun. But these girls are just so busy, like 30 or so a minute going through the door with pollen on their legs. I mean, loaded with pollen, not these little dribs and drabs. So whatever's blooming right now, they're after it. And these girls know where to find it because they're tearing it up. But I don't know if you guys saw on one of the other streams I was on with I think it was Kodiak Farm stream, and then they were talking about frames and stuff, and Bob's trying to get a co-op together for that. I started scorching my frames, seeing what the bees would do with them, because I heard it makes them stronger, sanitizes them. Sanitizing them, and what I've heard, but I don't know for a fact, and I'll probably find out soon, that the girls don't propolis them as bad because they're not trying to fill in all the rough spots on the frames, because it's been burned down. All the little frays and little pieces of fiber that stick up when they cut wood has all been burned off. So there's no inclination for them to try to propolize heavily to try to repair something. So that's what. Oh, hey Brian, I think it's the first live you've caught with me, and since I've been doing these little phone lives lately. I thought about doing the sideways view and forgot to turn it when I started, so I don't know if it would do it. Yep. Then I go and drop my phone. No, it won't let me do it. I should have started out with it. Yeah, I just decided I was telling the other two, I was telling them that my bees are flying pretty good today, dragging pollen in, so I thought I'd put it out here for them to see them, because not everybody's bees are flying right now. And all of us go through that jonesing period when it's cold and they can't see the bees. But these girls are determined they're going to get some work done. Yeah. me turn this around for a minute here. And go to my backyard to see what we got going out back. Come on. Are you reading about Nosema? I haven't seen any evidence of mine yet having any problems with Nosema, because part of my feeding regimen was when I go and mix their sugar water and Apis Biologics up, I put some apple cider vinegar in there. And the apple cider vinegar, I think, helps with some of that issues with their gut when they're confined. You know, I don't know a whole lot about Nosema either, but that's what I've, you know, through general consensus is what I think you would say, is that I found that people say that that's good for that. But, you know, it could be urban legend for all I know. But I haven't seen any ill reaction from it to them. Now here my girls are back here. This is the Holly Hive. And they're not as avid as the front ones right now, but they're working it, doing pretty good. I don't see them dragging the pollen in, but they also have a half of a piece of supplemental protein patty in there. But these girls are doing pretty good. And this is one I lost about 1,000 bees out of about a week ago, because they got on the feeder out here and decided they didn't want to go back in, and it got cold and they crawled inside of it, bundled up in there, and it was just too wet and killed them. I lost about 1,000 of them, but we're still doing pretty good. Look inside here. It is part of a protein patty there, and we're sitting at four frames right now, so we're doing pretty good, I think. For a small hive, there was only maybe a frame and a half when I caught them in October. My dog chasing squirrels out here. I think she's chasing squirrels or something. She's the squirrel champion. Squirrel! And the quintessential, you stop what you're doing and look when someone's hollering squirrel. That's that dog. Oh, I know what I was going to show you guys. Right now, I have a red maple in the backyard, and what this thing has been doing, it has lost all its leaves finally, but it has started putting buds on it. It's so it's getting ready for the spring bloom. So we're doing pretty good. Are you cleaning your frames off and waxing them? Yeah, I did that last week. I did about 20 of them last week getting ready. And I ended up using 10 of them for replacing the Holly Hive into the new hive she's in, the 10 framer I have her in. That was actually when I was talking to Bruce and I gave him a hat, Bruce Jenny, and gave him a hat for Christmas. He turned around and handed me a block of wax. So I mixed it with some of my burr comb and propolis that I've been piling up, melted it all down, and ran 20 frames. Still got some more wax though, but you know, I need more frames too for spring. I got another 3 10 framers I need to get set up and ready to roll, because you know, coming down springtime, I'm probably gonna need them for either swarms or you know, splits. I'm looking at splits first, because swarms are extra. And I was talking to somebody about that, Hey, hello, bad boys, bees. Yeah, red maple is the beginning of bee season, but they haven't popped yet, so it's priming. And I'm looking probably they'll probably be popping somewhere around February the 14th. And right after that, I have a neighbor has two holly bushes. Well, they were bushes. They're trees now. Um, those things get loaded between the end of February and March. The first part of March. So I'm thinking about setting a swarm trap out over there. Because the neighbor's not there right now. They had to put him in a home. And a 97-year-old man, retired, survivor of World War II, and was helping to take care of him in his yard for a while. So I don't think they're going to say anything to me about putting a swarm trap on his porch because there ain't nobody there. Plus, his granddaughter knows us and likes us watching out after the place. You got 20, Michael. You got 20 more boxes to look at. Is that looking at to evaluate or looking at to getting together so you can do something with them? Hello, Larry. Thanks for coming today. Yeah, I know I don't do a regular stream right now. I'm still working on that. Getting a place situated where I can have a place to do it that's not like an on-air type place where you can keep the room pretty quiet and don't have a lot going on. Because my wife and stepdaughter, they have a way of wanting to chat with me when I'm doing this thing, and it's a little disturbing, distracting. I should say, not disturbing, but distracting. Well, you actually get your hands full cleaning them and getting them waxed up, man. 20 more boxes. How many we done already, Michael? Okay. Hey, Brian, what book are you reading in about Nosema for the bees? Try to start adding some stuff to my libraries. Oh shit, Michael, you only got 2, got 20 to go. Oh my goodness, that's a good day to do it if the weather's right. Or you hold up in your garage with a heater, with 2. Honeybee diseases and pests. Okay, I have to take a look into that and see what it holds. Yeah, that's right, Larry. That's exactly what happens. They have like 40 questions when you're in the middle of doing a stream or on a stream. So I'm having to mute or block my page when I've been on with the other guys. Block my video so that we don't have too much distraction. That sounds like it might be a good reference material. Is that book, Ryan, just for the bees or in insects in general? Or in like gardening and insects and stuff? Ooh, in the house, Michael? I hope the wife don't catch you. I tried waxing some foundation in the house. The wife didn't like it because I left wax everywhere. Little beads of wax. Now, Larry, I was heard that if you dip those boxes, if you single dip them, you might be able to get a coat of paint on them. If you double dip them, you're not going to get any paint on that stick on those boxes. is what I've heard. Hey, DC. Glad to see you came in. So how's your lean-to for your bees working? So let me get back out here and let you guys see some bees instead of looking at my made-for-radio face. So, yeah, they're hitting that Apis biologic now, stalling out, so. Right here. Oh. Put that sun behind my head. Yeah, imagine if they have an umbrella now, it would be better for, less moisture. Ooh, sorry guys, blinded you with the sunlight there. All right, let's go back here to watching the girls fly for it, doing their work. Oh, you gonna build like roofs on them, like sort of like the flow hives have on them, or are you actually gonna just build a roof attached to the benches? So, because either way would probably work. So you like build like a lean-to around the benches, or attach them to those benches. That way, if the wind starts blowing too hard, you can actually probably put up like a wrap some tarps around it to break the wind. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Sort of like I said, a lean-to. Yeah, put 4 posts up, and you build your little roof over the top of it with a little lip on the front, and drag and have a drop off in the back. That if you even thought about it, you can actually put some tarp around it to block out the wind when it's really strong. Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Sort of like a carport. That's probably why we was talking about, like one of them carport barns. Yeah. But on those little, like you probably build those little, when you don't have room on the bench and you have to set them out a little ways, probably could build like a little small roofs for the top instead of having the telescoping lid. That way, the ones that are out by themselves have some sort of way to shed the water off instead of dumping into the box. And you talk about trucking tires, you talk about like the canvas, heavy canvas kind, right? Because the ones they make at doggone Rural King and Harbor Freight, man, those things are just shreds of plastic woven together. That's funny, I'm sitting here talking to you guys and these darn bees are landing all over my head. Now, as an idea, I was thinking about that when you're building, when you're putting that sloped roof on the top. If you thought about taking those tarps and part of the tarp, um, adhering it to the top of it, so to the top of that roof, so that all you had to do is roll the back side up and strap it up to make it where that tarp is always there but not always down. Would be the idea that I would try to use. Oh, yeah, I do have some open feed, but these girls are dragging in pollen more than they're going to the feeder. This is all natural pollen they're dragging in. They're really they're hitting it. Something's blooming around here, and just warm enough for the day for them to go get it. Well, I don't know if you'd want to pull it off even during the summer because depending on how hot you get up there, I know you're in Washington. I don't know how high it gets in the direct sunlight out there, but you know if it does get hot, you know they would have some sort of shade to keep them from having to try to cool the hive as much. I've noticed that, I've had, and I know you guys probably don't have the problem with hive beetles that we do down here, but I keep mine that are semi in the sun during the, like half the day they'll get good sunlight, and the other half of the day they'll go and they will get shade. So it's not. They have a way to keep themselves pretty regulated that way. I know bees are good at regulating temperatures. Yeah, I had some issues with them in the beginning of the season, and I've been keeping an eye on it, working at it. Anytime I have any kind of protein patty in the hive, what I'll do is I will go and I'll check it every few days. Just lift the top and look at it, because sometimes I'll find beetle larvae trying to crawl in it, and that way I don't give them a chance to go and do any kind of breeding. Toss that stuff in a fire pit when I'm burning something, and kill them off. And I know that's probably not the best option, but it seems to have done the job so far. I don't have the beetles. I see like 3 or 4 every now and again in there when I go through an inspection. If you move east, where are you planning on moving if you go east from Denver? Hey Lee, thanks for coming to visit. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen wax moths, and this is my first year, so I can't speak to a wax moth problem. because I haven't seen them. But as far as uh, in-laws live in Florida. Where in Florida? I live maybe 30 minutes north of the Florida line, and about 45 minutes from the Georgia line. So that's about where I live at in Alabama, south of Sarasota. Okay, so that's a little further downstate. So I mean, I don't know what they have in the way of issues with beetles, but I'm sure they do, because they're a lot more tropical than we are. Cyclops Videos, new name of your video corporation, Lee. Yeah, I heard something. I had watched a repeat of Bob's live last night. Your niece was on there and said something about she was the one videotaping when you got it in the eye. Now I'm gonna tell you a good place, Brian. I actually sort of miss it. It's Birmingham area. It's got some rolling hills, and it's still basically the same kind of weather here. Maybe a little cooler during the winter, but actually that area is beautiful. It's got rolling hills. It's got it's just before you get up into it's 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours away from the North Carolina border. And I mean, you're not far from the mountains themselves, and you're not far from the sea, because you got, it's like 4 hours down to the beach from there. So now you talk about face stings. I don't know much about the face stings. I've only gotten one on the side of the head, and that did hurt. But the one that gets me is the ones when they thump you in your ear. Those things, man, they stick with you for a while. Well, if you want the both best of both worlds, probably Birmingham would be a good place. I left Birmingham because my job brought me down here, and my daughter's down here in the Dothan area, and so that's why I'm down where I'm at. But that's a long story in itself, so. But Birmingham is a beautiful place. And like I said, it's like the very, very foothills of before you start getting up into any mountains and stuff. So it's just rolling hills. It's nice terrain. Yeah, you're too old, man. You don't look like you're over 56 years old like I am. So I can handle minus 6 degrees and a minus 45 wind chill factor for a short period of time. So Lee, how did that go with the tell the bees about the death and get them relocated? I had quite a few potholes. I started turning gray when I was 26, DC. I still feel in my head, I still think I'm 18, 19, and I start doing something and my body says, no, you're not that. You need to back up. Well, that makes a difference. Neck and back surgeries. I'd agree with that. I know you say Louisiana, but some of the roads here in Alabama are just as bad, Lee. I think I hit a sinkhole. Yeah, that's why I'm down here in Dothan, because I'm my oldest child. She's I got 2 grandkids, so I do have some reason for being where I'm at. You know, other than when I had my job, but being close to them, I get a chance to see them once in a while. Nah, DC. They're sometimes they could be a headache, but they're a blessing in a lot of ways too. They can be headaches because as they grow, they don't want to listen to the advice you give them, and they have to go around the school of hard knocks, or get hit in the eye like Lee with a B. Sorry, Lee, had to get it. Yeah, I know about back problems. I mean, maybe not like what you're talking about, DC, but I've got degenerative stenosis in my neck, center thorax, between my center thorax down to my lumbar region are all degenerative and herniating. So, I have an understanding about the pain. Hey, Bob, welcome to the show. Ain't a whole lot. Just talking and reading text today. But I'm trying to get things ready, set up to where I can actually have a live and probably bring people in. I have not got to that point. Like I said earlier, that way I don't get a place set up to where I can go and have a little bit of privacy and not to have distractions of people trying to ask questions and walking behind me or things like that. So I'm gonna try to at least do one a week here, as far as the lives go. I don't know if it's always gonna be on my phone like I'm doing today, but that way I get my face out there a little more. Probably get a chance to say a little more than I do when we're trying to talk with Bob. Bob likes to talk. And he brings up good subjects, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. Hey, Bob, Lee was talking about earlier, he was trying to edit with one eye. So I said, now you can call that Cyclops video editing. Who, Bob? Nah. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys joined me today. Um, I'll go back out here probably to show you my bees again, man. I love them girls. Yes, Ryan. My attempts are to try to at least get a minimum of four total. So two splits, and what if they decide they want to do more? You know, who knows? I could have six, and then hopefully have some icing on the cake with some swarms. So that's what I'm looking at, trying to do this year. Um, because like I said, I got two hives, but so far they're surviving so far. Let's see what they do after, when spring hits. I don't know if, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. Because, could split them too hard or could do something that they doesn't agree with them. So there's always that. So, no, at this time, Lee, I do not have an extractor. I may have to start off with a simple, simple hand crank for a little bit to see how that goes. I've been looking for something that I could afford right now. Haven't been able to dump a whole lot of money out yet. I'm still waiting on, like Bob, I'm still waiting on an insurance settlement from a car wreck I had 5 years ago. They're supposed to have had that thing settled and out to me, which would give me some money to be able to buy some equipment. Yeah, that's basically it, Brian. I've been trying to focus on making sure I knew how to take care of these girls, and seem to be doing a fair job at the moment. And knowing that I can tend to the bees before I start stretching out and making more, or too many more. Because this year, the last part, the May hive, which is the one we're looking at now, I caught her in May, and it took a long time for her to grow. I was wanting her to grow faster and kept trying to push it and try and make sure that, get it going. And then she's took her time. So I missed the whole, spring flow. So by the time they got the last end of it and started filling their hive with honey right at the end of it, then I stuck when they grew big enough, I put the second deep on and got them to pull the frame of brood up into the deep that wasn't even pulled yet, and got those girls to get it and fill it up between then and through the goldenrod, and feeding them with sugar syrup and stuff. So they ended up with like about 90 to 100 pounds of sugar and honey in their hive for the winter, and they hadn't even gone through a third of it. Because even when they're flying, I've been feeding them as well, so they've not been resorting to nailing their reserves that much. Well, I appreciate that, Lee. I do appreciate that. That'll help out. At least I'll be set up a little bit before the time I need it. If you want to send it, Bob's got my address because I've ordered from him. Oh, okay. Uh, well, if you're in Louisiana, that's a good couple hour ride. So I don't know. I don't know. Between the price of gas and the price of shipping, it's sort of a toss-up anymore. That's one good thing, man. I do like these groups because of that, and I appreciate the support and the love y'all show, because we are our brother's keepers. We need to keep a lookout and try to help each other as much as we can, especially if you have any kind of faith. That's what we're told to do. So it should be the general consensus of people anyways to do that, because if we're all human, we all work together, we all live in the same world. But that sentiment's not shared across the country. A lot of people are out doing what they want to do and not caring about those things. So I just know that my needs are usually met one way or the other, whether an opportunity comes up or like Lee just did offered. I do appreciate these things because they are a gift. So road trip and CBs, huh? that's a good sentiment. So Charlie probably still sleeping. Either that or he's making his popcorn. I thought maybe I'd be able to catch him today sometime, but he's probably busy doing something. So what are you doing, Lee, today besides editing videos? Did you get out to see any of your bees today? Oh, you tried calling Bob? You tried calling him today to see how he was doing? You were up pretty late apparently last night on that stream. I didn't get the notification on that one either. Or Caymans, which I have set up the notifications on those. Well, Larimore, how you doing today? And you know, Bob, I'll probably try and do this the hard way, reading the text and then answering questions that way instead of trying to do it the other way. Trying to keep a flow of thought going, and you start getting several different questions, and it's like, okay, answer this, answer that. But I enjoy it, man. I'm having fun with it. Maybe one day it'll go somewhere. Don't expect to be rich. Just enjoying the fun and sharing with everybody how life's going with us as beekeepers. He woke up for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I've been on another one with you, Brian, where you started nodding off towards the end. Hey, Tim from Gunline, how you doing? I showed some of the guys earlier on the stream. There's a lot more have come in. I'm gonna go back out here to this red maple I got that's getting ready to pop. Show you guys. It's right over one of my other hives, my holly hive. Yeah, I have the luxury right now of naming them instead of numbering them because I don't have that many. It is it's 56 degrees here today, and my girls are doing pretty good. They're out flying. I mean, these girls out back now are finally starting to pick up. All right, well, I was showing these guys earlier, Bob and Lee. These are my red maples. They're starting to get ready to pop. Actually, it looks like one there is actually getting ready. It's starting to open up. That's a little early because usually it's around February 14th. I always look around Valentine's Day. And my girls are liking to hang out on my head even. She's readying herself back for we'll go back to the hive. I'm just using my phone right now. I do have a microphone, a lav mic. Actually, I have a dual lav mic where it's one plug-in for the phone is just, the USB-C connection, and I have two mics for that. So I'm pretty good, and it's doing pretty good. It's stereo quality too. It's been putting out. Yeah, I have intentions eventually of getting one of those 4K digital cams with a that has a I think it's a 16 or a 32 X zoom on it. There's like $150. I mean, cheap brand. I got 2 tripods. I usually use my tripods when I do my videos on the hives. Yeah, Lee. I'm watching out for my eyes, but they usually don't. They're feeding right now, so they're not worried about me. They're just lighting on me and readying themselves to get back into the hive. Taking that sunlight they're getting and turning it into honey. Yeah, these girls are. These girls are tearing up my feeder. Little bird, little chicken feeder. Put a screen mesh on the bottom of it so they can't get in it when they're done. That's what killed 1,000 bees last week. Thanks for coming by, Larimore. Yes, I have brood, Tim. They've been maintaining 2 frames of brood all the way through winter this year. That I've noticed that they've been carrying. Both hives. One had 4 for a while and dropped back 3 and then dropped down to 2. So that's where they've been maintaining at the moment. They are, I don't think we can go through a completely broodless cycle here at all from what I see. Now, it could be because of the winter we had was very mild. Last few years I've been here in the Dothan area, it's been about the same. It's a little cooler this year than it has normally been. So I don't think that there's they go completely broodless, are going to go completely broodless. Yeah, DC. I learned a while back of the antiseptic properties of honey, which actually surprised me because usually, like when you have honey sitting around, you see the bubbles at the top when the moisture level is high in the honey. That's actually peroxide. And so when they lower the low moisture level down in the honey, that sort of stays dormant. And you take, like if you get a cut or something like that, and you stick it on a cut, the moisture in your body reactivates that through hydroscopic action, reinitiates that peroxide effect. So, I mean, you're taking it internally, you put it on you externally. It has a lot of healing properties. I've found out that myself, I don't know everything you can use it for, but I've noticed that. Man, I was watching, talking about that, I was watching some of the videos from Hive Life, and everybody was getting videos crossways and every which way, so I've seen the same scene 3 different times, 4 different ways, So I was watching one where Nature's Image Farm, they were at their table, and you see Greg in the background. He's got the honey bottle just squirting in the big old mouthful in the background. Well, guys, it looks like I've actually will be exceeding my original my first live I did on the phone. Well, actually, my second one was an hour, so I'm at an hour now. So, and that's doing it through the way I'm doing it. I wonder how it'd be if I had guessed on. Probably go 6 hours like Charlie, or maybe even 7 just to break that. Who knows? I wish I could find some elderberry, DC. Yeah, I think that makes some pretty good wine. I don't know about helping you sleep, man. You're dumping sugar in or glucose into your system before you lay down. I don't know about sleeping, but elderberry infused honey. That might be interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking about making some pepper infused, like Spanky's doing, and honey, and see how that goes this year. And that's all subjective on how much these girls decide they want to produce this year, and then I can get off of them. But like we were saying, I was saying earlier, I'm actually looking to try to grow the numbers to get them up and get them all at a healthy state. So, that's where my goals are sitting right now, is trying to grow a little bit and maybe get some honey off so these girls can start paying for some of the stuff I've had to do. Because during the dearth before winter, I swear I must have went through almost 200 pounds of sugar water for 2 hives. Yeah, and these girls were just sucking it down. And when I had the one hive, they were going through a 5-gallon bucket a day on one hive. Yeah, pass it up. Yeah, do it live. Bob's still in here, or Lee. Maybe we can pull another hive live off today. Yeah, YouTube gypped us by not notifying us. Yeah, I think that's what it is. They're thinking we're getting too tight, so they don't want to let us know what the others are doing. Yeah, DC, you need to find a way to get that camera hooked up to your laptop so you can get all to the live with us. Like I said, I'm just about bald, and I got a face for radio, so there's no excuse. I do it with the phone. I do it with my laptop, but you can do it, man. So I think you'd have some interesting input, but then you couldn't pick at everybody else in the chat either, right? We probably call Bob's chats late night with Bob and the No Life Beekeepers. Yeah, because every time Bob gets on, man, it's like it's late too. So yeah, I guess this life ain't for everybody, is it, Bob? Yeah, I saw that in the replay when you said that, and there was no, and there's no competing with Cayman, because he pulled. I bet you everybody we talk to in these chats are the same ones that check Cayman out as well. Hey, look at that, DC. They gonna try to set you up, brother. Yeah, I think Bob needs to check with YouTube to see check about his algorithms. What's going on with those because it's not notifying everybody. Yeah, Brian, that was sort of my plan for setting up a YouTube studio room, as well as use it for a honey house as well, because that way I'd have a little more privacy and quiet, So or even do lives while you're extracting the honey. I have my family for Father's Day got me a shirt they made up. It says "Talk bees to me," or "I only understand bees." That's bee talk. That's what it is. I only understand bee talk. And I have a do rag that says "Talk bees to me." Yeah, that's true, Brian. That's the way if you look at my credit score, you probably say, "Oh my God, how do you live?" Well, everything I've got is paid for. I have a Harley, $10,000 Harley. It's paid for in cash. It's free. Other than the rent I pay to the state each month to use it, or each year, and the insurance. But as far as putting stuff on time payments, I have a hard time with that because I'd rather outright have it. If I don't have the cash for it, I can't get it. And that's best policy, I think, for everybody to have. There's no sense in going to credit card debt or a loan to try to go and purchase the things you need, and you're still paying on them. If I pay for it outright cash, then the bees make money. Well, they pay me back for what I've done for them. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah, you do have to spend some money to make money. That's the whole reason that even if I spend money outright instead of taking loans, it's money I spent, and it'll come back to you one way or the other. Yeah, yeah, DC. Nobody steal mine. They give mine back to me and pay me to take it back. My credit rating. Yeah. Shoot, they wouldn't even want my identity. Yeah. Man, you don't need a fancy microphone. You just got to get a decent one. Now, Lee, on the other hand, is probably going to try to find the best one he could find. Yeah, but, you get what you pay for sometimes. And other times you get something, you may not pay a whole lot and you get something decent. Yeah, that's the KISS motto. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, that's probably going to be my scenario till I can get me a shed. Yeah, I may even convert part of this carport that you see over my head, 2-car carport. Turn one side of it in, close it in, make it a honey house, or a shed of some kind. Which probably wouldn't take near the money it would be to buy one from someone who makes it. It wouldn't be near the cost. But then again, lumber's expensive. I have to look that one up, Lee. I'm gonna have to do mine as gradual steps right now. Lav mics are working great. Let's pray that they hold up. They hold up before I need something else. Oh, you hear me good now? I'm using these Bluetooth at the moment. Open runs. They're bone induction headphones, which have a Vox set up on them, so they're pretty decent. These cost more than the lav mics I bought. I spent about $60 for the lav mics. Yeah, that's all. That seems to be my bottleneck is the cash flow, and so one of the reasons I started working with the bees is try to increase that cash flow. But my thoughts were that I'd have some bees in the first year. I'd have honey, as a newbie. That's what I was thinking that, and I'd be able to sell that, and I'd have some income coming in that way. But I'm finding that bees don't operate the way I thought they did. Even researching them, you still come across that I don't quite know what's going on deal, and you have to evaluate the things that are going on. And it is step by step, DC. And then you get thrown a curveball late October and find out you can overwinter a small swarm and make it. Well, as of now, they're making it. I'll put that caveat in there because you never know what's going to happen. It could get a lot colder, do a real bad cold snap like Bob says, and start snowing. I ain't seen snow around here. I've seen heavy frost, but never seen snow here yet. And some of them steps may be backwards too. Yes, that's the point, Brian. Yeah, that's what I didn't take into account when I was looking at that. Um, I had nothing sustainable at the moment, and I still really I have the chance to at this point. But at the time, I was calculating and thinking that didn't even enter thought. Something that was sustainable, and I'm starting to see it more and more now, especially with the potential for exponential growth. You know, doubling or maybe even tripling, depending on how the season goes. That's another factor I didn't even take into account for. But if conditions are right, you have potential of becoming more sustainable with the amount of bees and how you manage them and how you choose to multiply them. I could slow them down by just going and extending, making all double deeps, and slow down exponential growth, or cut them down in size, not too small, but bring them down to they start getting a cramped environment and force them to start wanting to split. But the thing I see about this too is that it's giving me time to, even though it's been a slow step forwards on what I'm doing, it's giving me time to see what I'm doing, how the bees are telling me it's working or not working. And you sit there and you look at the entrance of the hive, and they're just falling out to fly away, and they're piling to come back in. It just makes it you realize that the work you've done to try to get them to grow is working. Well, DC, you got to learn. I've learned through the years, you got to figure out ways of reinventing yourself or reinventing an approach. It's not about staying the same. It's learning to be able to mold yourself to the changes and the flows. And it's simple to say, but when you get into it, you don't realize and see it. You have to step back and reevaluate what you're looking at and how you're approaching it. I'm sorry to hear about that loss, Kill. Yeah, Iowa. That's sort of what I mean. That I didn't know that was a concept at the time, but my first year, this is my first. Getting ready to start my second season. I didn't take any honey from them except for when I used the one hive as to help out the October swarm I got. I pulled a little bit of brood, and I pulled a frame of honey off of it to supplement them to get them going, to make sure they got going. And that's the only honey I took off. I didn't take any for myself, other than stealing a sample here and there. Digging your hive tool and getting the sample out the frame, just to see what it was tasting like. But this year I didn't take anything off my May hive, and they're double deep, and they still got the full top deep. Is well, it's most of the way. I mean, I'd say that they had 9 frames, and they're probably down to 7 up top right now. But that's due to slowing them down by feeding them Apis biologics and open feeding. But I didn't take any honey for myself this year off of them, other than a sample here and there. But I left it for them, and it paid off, because these girls are thriving. I think the biggest loss I've taken on it since I started, because right after I got the May hive, I had an opportunity for a cutout, and I went to this person's house, and it was probably a 2-year hive, 2 or 3 year hive. They had four roof struts, 24 inches wide by 4 inches deep, all down the soffit. And because of my inexperience and not understanding the heat factor when you're vacuuming bees, I lost all of them. But I gained the wax. I gained their honey. That's the only honey. I take that back. That's the only honey I got this year, and it was actually pretty good honey. I'm thinking about putting some hives on these people's property, because they gave me permission. Because it had a nice citrusy flavor to it, and the aftertaste at the back end of it was like a raisin. They have a lot of sweet gum trees on their property, so I'm thinking that that would be a good honey profile for me. Just try to sell. So I will do a cutout again, but I learned in that one that I got to be careful how the heat sensitivity of these of the bees in a vacuum, and try to find a way to get them out if I find another big hive like that again. That was probably the biggest hive I'd ever seen, because it was like I said, 3 sections by 24 inches apart, sections, 3 sections, which was a pretty good stretch. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to watch being pollen bound with these girls, because the way they're bringing it in now. Make sure the queen's going to have some space. I may have to, when it's warm, pull some frames and try to put them in for them. Some open frames. Get them to work on that. Best tasting honey out of your wall of your garage, huh? Yeah, it depends on their forage, what they're foraging, for sure. And I'm looking to see what these girls bring in this year. Hopefully I can get some good spring honey before I end up getting into summer flow. Because the summer flow comes up, it's the tallow, and I've got like 7 tallow trees in my yard, which they live on. I'm sure they get them other places too, but they're in my trees. March, I'll probably, during the spring, I'll probably end up with some holly, blackberry, and privet mix, because that's what we have in around March and April. We're gonna have that blooming in this area. Right now is probably this yellow pollen's coming off a lot of dandelions I'm seeing right now. They're bringing in a lot of gold and yellow color pollen. I've seen a few bringing in red. That's probably coming from my bushes in the front yard here with the red flowers on them, which are a winter blooming flower. Well, I guess what I'll do is I'll wrap this up, guys. I feel like somewhat I'm rambling on here. I hope it's been helpful, and sharing with what I do here compared to what you guys do there. We'll see how things roll, and I guess I'll catch you on a stream later if we get an announcement from Bob with his talk. We'll see you guys then. See y'all later. Bye.